There are too many people who are living above their means to try to please other broke people. Why are you wasting your time and money and energy and resources trying to please other broke people?
No, that's real. That's overly real. I mean, that's stuff you would see in the media today. Look at a lot of the rappers that like got overly big, and then they had their 15 minutes of fame, and then poof, out of there, fume. So I mean, even other celebrities, athletes do it all the time. I mean, it's not just conducive to rappers or artists. Yeah, that's facts. Actors too. Like, and so like unfortunately, a lot of the industry in certain areas is broke, but they have that fame and that notoriety. But fame ain't everything, my friend. You got to know how to finesse the market. So.
Would you say that, one thing, this is a question, would you say that mostly black community are like, because they don't grow up with having so much money, so when the kids get into a certain age, they feel like they want it so bad because they never had it, so they're willing to do anything to have it?
And desperation is never the spirit or the energy to allocate wealth and resources out of. If you're desperate, it's not going to work out, because what's going to end up happening, you're so desperate for the thing, that thing is going to consume you, and eventually, if you don't check yourself, you're going to wreck yourself. But we have to have a lot of self-control, a lot of self-discipline, especially as men, because we have to know how to regulate our emotions. A lot of times we're making decisions based off of fleeting feelings and temporary emotions, and it causes us to be in a conundrum of self-destruction, self-sabotage. Because that desperation is going to brew another thing called foolish ambition. That foolish ambition is going to cause self-pride. That pridefulness is just masqueraded insecurity and ego. Now you don't have a foundation for your wealth. You don't have a foundation for your currency. You don't have a foundation for your brand, because you were so busy worried about the fleeting thing, the temporary thing, the shadow of a thing, instead of actually putting work ethic into the actual thing that's going to be sustainable and that's going to build a foundational lifestyle. A lot of people want that clout. A lot of people want those Instagram followers. They want the blue checks, but they ain't cashing no check. You feel me? Wow. Build something that's sustainable that will outlive you when your time is up on this planet.
Were you in the same space of chasing money at some point in your life?
I was. We all were. We're all good together.
That's how we raised.
How did you get out of that?
You know what? I stopped chasing after it, and wealth started chasing and pursuing me with my network. Your network is your network.
Yes.
So when I started to surround myself with people who were richer than me, wealthier, more knowledgeable than me, that's when wealth started to chase after me. Because see, I've always had the gifts. I've always had the talents. I just needed the resources. I just needed the accessibility. I just needed the opportunity. Direction. You feel me?
So my question for you would be, how would you build that network? What would be some tips for those of us that feel like we have? Okay,
you already doing it. You are doing it in real time right now. When you come to Waymaker Men's Summit, and when you put yourself in spaces that often make you feel uncomfortable, or imposter syndrome might set in, and you're in rooms that you feel like it's above me, this is how you build those networks. You always have to put yourself in the rooms where you are not the smartest person in the room.
I think also another way is like to do something good to someone and then let them go.
Yes.
And then they kinda, I won't say they owe you, but them themselves, they feel like they owe you something good. So you never know when you guys will meet again. You know what I mean? One day you might find them somewhere in the streets and be like, oh, I got you, I'll pay for your parking spot. That's your network, you know what I mean?
And the same people you see on the way up are the same people you're going to see on the way down.
Oh, that's true. That's fast, bro.
And make no mistake, there are a lot of people who are on stages today, they'll be on unemployment tomorrow.
Oh, that's true.
Do not listen, there are people who are on stages and platforms with notoriety today, but that won't pay the rent. That's not going to pay the mortgage. That's not going to pay for all those things that you've been expensed because you were living above your means. That's another major issue in our community. There are too many people who are living above their means to try to please other broke people. Why are you wasting your time and money and energy and resources trying to please other broke people?
No, that's real. That's overly real. I mean, that's stuff you would see in the media today. Look at a lot of the rappers that like got overly big, and then they had their 15 minutes of fame, and then poof, out of there, fume. So I mean, even other celebrities, athletes do it all the time. I mean, it's not just conducive to rappers or artists. Yeah, that's facts. Actors too. Like, and so like unfortunately, a lot of the industry in certain areas is broke, but they have that fame and that notoriety. But fame ain't everything, my friend. You got to know how to finesse the market. So that's facts.
Ambition, purpose, and
mentorship.
Purpose
and mentorship are going to be huge.
Yes.
Honestly, because if you don't know where you're going, you got to talk to somebody who's already there, who's going to get there. But even another factor outside of that, you have to discover your purpose and what that is, right? Because if you don't, what do you do? Why are you doing what you're doing?
Exactly.
Always ask why. Why am I here today? Why am I doing this? Why? And I, at least for myself, it's always going to be larger than myself. Always, right? Whether it's helping young men here with financial literacy, serving God, serving my family, wife, kids, whatever that may look like.
Wow, I like how simple you put it. Like you even said, having kids, having a family. You know, people don't look at that as a success. They look at it as just spider, bro. It's crazy. Like,
in our community, I mean, we'll call it for what it is. There's a plague when it comes to the family, the nuclear unit, right? I carry father wounds with me, right? How did I respond to that time? I'm here, I'm doing it. I'm gonna be a good man for my children, my family, so on and so forth. Because if we really want to break it down, because of that weight that I'm carrying, I've already made it. It's not gonna stop me though. So further, I got more to go, right?
And so you're talking about generational legacy. Which is something I don't think a lot of us as black men talk about. Because for me, my father, he died 8 years ago. His death anniversary was actually this past Monday.
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I appreciate it. No, he was battling cancer, prostate. Get your prostate checked, man.
Yes.
And then it transmuted to his lungs, and that's what took him out ultimately. But I think about when I had to speak at the funeral and I had all these roller coasters of emotions going through my head. One, I only got $275 that this man left me. Let's talk about it. Oh, wait, the last time we had a conversation, we had a reckoning, and it wasn't the best, but still I spoke my piece and I let it off my chest. Third, I had to take care of this man in his final days and the final hours where I was taking oxygen tanks to restaurants and driving him places, and he could barely stay awake because of the cancer, because of the chemotherapy and the rounds of everything he was going through with radiation. As a man who chose to build a relationship and choose my father over the other way around when I was younger, I think black boys all over, like Wood Harris said it, whether your father was a good father, whether he was a bad father, whether he was broke down, bum, whatever, if he was present in some capacity in your life, respect that man, because as you're honoring him, you're honoring God. That's why I see this is where this generation loses the sight of it all. The Bible says, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which the Lord your God gives you. It's not telling you to honor them because they're good, or honor them because they're respectable, or honor them because they're a role model. It literally says honor them that your longevity, that your generation, that your legacy might be sealed, and that you might actually have a longevitous life, you know? And I think this is a conversation that needs to be had more, especially amongst the black boys, especially amongst black men, because people are trying to heal brokenness, heal trauma, heal cycles in their family, but it starts with you taking a conscious effort every day to be a better person, even if it's 1%, be a better person than the person you were yesterday, and stop competing and comparing yourself with other black men and black boys, because God made you as an individual. He did not make you in a conference call. It was a one-on-one situation.
Actually, I'll give you another perspective. Let me just be the camera.
Oh yes.
So I'm African. I'm from Kenya, and it's very funny because as Africans we don't argue with our parents. So if your parents are like so abusive, then to an extreme point, then that's kind of, you gotta stay away from them, but you don't fight them. You know what I mean? You don't fight with them. And I was raised with a single mom. My mom made sure that me and my dad, we were not seeing eye to eye completely until when I turned 16. They divorced when I was like 2 years old. The next time I saw my dad, I was 16, and when I spent time with him, he was a good guy, just chill guy. And I was like, I've heard so many horrible things about you. This is who you are. He's like, well, yeah, but don't say any bad thing to your mom. Respect your mom. That's your mother. You'll never have another mother. And I'm sorry I was away for all this time. I was afraid of being around you because I was told not to. even till now, I regret that time that I missed with my dad.
Wow.
When I see him these days, obviously, I don't feel like he's my dad because the bond is not as much. But anytime I see him around, I call him dad.
Yeah.
And I get him a gift. And I see that in our family as black people, it's like it's becoming toxic. Every day, parents and kids just fighting, clashing. And how are we going to survive in the future? It's just so hard.
I think that something, and I know you understand this as an American black man, I think a lot of black people right now are going through an identity crisis.
They are.
Where like we don't really know who we are, we don't really know always where we come from, and I think that because there's a lack of support systems, which is again why these types of events are so important, and I really applaud Waymaker for inviting the schools, because this is one of the first events. Like I come from Chicago, we don't have stuff like that out here. Okay, yeah, so you a land, oh yeah, you a land baby. Okay, yeah. So in Chicago, we don't have stuff like this, and so as somebody that's a Chicagoan and that comes to something like this in LA and sees all these schools and these black kids, so many black kids, and seeing the people that actually made it in life as black men, that speaks to something.
It does.
And so why didn't we have that? And so now what can we do to kind of continue that cycle so that these other kids have that opportunity, so that they have that motivation to know,
Well, it was poorly marketed, I will say, in Chicago, because this Waymaker Summit was also in Chicago.
Really?
September last
Okay.
fall. Actually.
I didn't know that.
It was poorly marketed. Accessibility, that's so important when it comes to marketing these types of events and spaces for healing and for safety for black boys and black men to actually come together and learn from each other. But yeah, it was just poorly marketed last year. I was going to go for my birthday as a gift to myself, but I couldn't make it. So thankfully, lightning struck twice, and it happened in LA. Now that I'm based here for the past 8 years, but I've always been Chicago, always will be Chicago for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah, know that. Yes sir, yes sir.
I don't want to be biased, but Chicago is the best city in the planet.
No, that's not biased. That's the truth.
Okay, hello.
I like LA, but Chicago.
You
man.
feel me?
I
It's
know.
cleaner.
That's
The
really
food is busting.
Oh, know that. Oh yeah.
You're from LA? No, I'm originally a little further up north, outside the Bay Area.
Okay.
Small town from Santa Cruz.
Oh, I'm from Santa Cruz.